Hey y'all, what's good? What's going on with you? This is Ryan Jackson from RyanJacksonLLC.com. And today I'm going to talk about Scottie Pippen, or like Kevin Durant likes to call him, Scott Pippen. So on yesterday, Scottie Pippen says that called Phil Jackson a racist, his former head coach with the Bulls that he spent 10 years playing for. 11 years, 11 years playing for. He called him racist yesterday on the Dan Patrick show. And Scotty's reasons for calling Phil Jackson a racist were that in 1994, in the second round of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks, there was a play drawn up for Tony Kukoc to get the ball and hit the last shot of the game to win it for the Bulls. Well, Kukoc, it was a play for Tony Kukoc, who was a rookie at the time. So Phil Jackson drew up this play, and Scottie Pippen refused, and he was supposed to inbound the ball to Kukoc, who was then supposed to take the shot. I remember this game like it was yesterday. Pippen refused, and he checked himself out of the game. So the ball is inbounded. Kukoc takes the last shot and hits it. Hits the shot at the buzzer and wins it for the Bulls against the Knicks. The Knicks will go on to win that series in 7 games, but that play sticks out in the mind of everyone because Pippen refusing to go back into the game because the play wasn't drawn up for him. Now, mind you, this is the 93-94 season, and this is the season that MJ went to go play baseball with the Birmingham Barons. So this was consequently Scottie Pippen's team. A lot of people, and that play that Phil did, a lot of people scratched their heads. Not only with that Kukoc taking the last shot, but that why isn't Pippen in the game? Why did he check himself out of the game? And this is live on TV, live on NBC at the time. It was like, wow, really? It's like, Everybody was scratching their head like, what's really going on? What's the goings on here? So Pippen goes on to bring up another incident where Phil Jackson wrote a book criticizing Kobe Bryant as being a selfish player. Phil Jackson had coached the Lakers from 1999 to 2004. 2004 season, he lost to my Pistons in the finals, the 2004 finals. Phil Jackson retired for a year and then came back the 05-06 season to coach the Lakers again. And the Lakers were going to win 2 more championships with Kobe Bryant and post-Shaq. Well, I can't say that Phil would be racist with the drawing up the play for Tony Kukoc and with the writing a book about Kobe being selfish, because a lot of black players and former teammates of Kobe had called him selfish. I called Kobe selfish once upon a time, and I am a huge Kobe Bryant fan. He's my favorite player of all time. Well, second favorite is Isaiah Thomas first, then Kobe Bryant. But I mean, rest in peace to Kobe. He's like I'm still a huge Kobe Bryant fan, even in his death. He was like my second favorite player of all time. I think he's the greatest Laker of all time. I mean, there's an argument. You could say Kareem, okay? All right, I go with that and Magic. But I mean, Kobe Bryant, the things he did, the Lakers' all-time leading scorer. He won 5 championships with the Lakers, same with Kareem and Magic. So he ranks up there. He ranks up there. But my personal opinion, he's the greatest Laker of all time. My personal opinion. But be that as it may, those have, people feel different about that. But in any event, I don't see Phil being racist in this instance. Maybe white privilege, old white man privilege. Yes, definitely, definitely. Negro, do as I say, not as not do as I say, not as I do, type of thing. I could see that being authoritative. The white man. I could see all that, but as far as being like when I think of racist, I think of people who are like your old Bull O'Connors, your old Richard Nixons, Ronald Reagan types. And then we know it's systematic, your Joe Bidens. I don't see Phil Jackson as being like in that category of racist, like a George Wallace or Strom Thurmond or even a Bill Clinton or Joe Biden type. But I do think he's like he took advantage of his authority, and he definitely, it's the white male privilege, the dominant white male, and he's 75 years old, so he comes from that old school, of white male dominance, definitely, definitely. But that's just not Phil Jackson. You could say that about Greg Popovich. You could say that about Larry Brown. You could say that about Tom Thibodeau. Um, you could say that about a lot of coaches in the NBA. A lot, definitely Pat Riley. Now, if anybody would be considered a racist and dominant male figure, white male privilege, Pat Riley definitely fit that bill. But it's funny that this is coming out now, 27 years after the fact, after one play. So he draws up a play for Tony Kukoc to take the last shot of the game. He hits it. Y'all win the game. Game over. And now Phil Jackson's a racist 27 years later. Phil Jackson wrote a book 16 years ago criticizing Kobe as being selfish, and now Phil Jackson's considered a racist. I don't know. Is Phil Jackson a racist? I mean, maybe he is. I don't know the man personally, but I don't think these two incidents that Scottie Pippen is pointing to would qualify him as a racist. That's just me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know Phil Jackson personally. Never met the man, so he could be a racist. Who knows? But I would think if he is a racist, it wouldn't be just these two incidents. It would be stuff further in his past and in his present as well, not just these two significant incidents. I don't know, but I'm curious to know why Scottie Pippen didn't call Jerry Krause a racist. If anybody would be racist, it would be him. He was the general manager of the Bulls during their title runs. He was responsible. Oh, and Jerry Reinsdorf as well. He was the owner of the Bulls, and I think he still do own the Bulls. No, he owned the Bulls and the White Sox. The two Jerrys, Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause. Why aren't they considered racist, Scottie Pippen? I mean, you signed that ridiculous contract, which you deserve more money, and you signed that 6 or 7 year deal. It was all told on the last dance last year, and Jerry Krause had this little tyrant Napoleon complex, short man Napoleon complex. I'm Mr. White Man. Y'all gonna do as I say. Y'all Negroes gonna do as I say. Why isn't he considered a racist? I mean, I know he's dead and gone now, but Jerry Krause to me would be more of a racist. Jerry Reinsdorf to me would be more of a racist. He was a you know, a strict, do as I say, plantation, type of plantation owner mentality like. Why wouldn't these guys be considered racist? Phil Jackson's just a coach. He's not running the operations. He's not running the things. He's not signing the checks. It's not his way or the highway. It was Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause. And all this is documented on The Last Dance, that documentary last year that came out during the pandemic. And we all saw it. Yeah. Why let Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause off the hook? I mean, come on. It would seem to me that Phil Jackson would be the only racist, or he'd be the two Jerrys. And then, not to mention that Scottie Pippen is trying to plug his book. He has a book coming out in November. So MJ had a documentary. Pippen has a book coming out in November. So I don't know, man. These former Chicago Bull players, they need to have a mental see a therapist or something, because it's like there's a lot of issues that are underlying, that are just coming to the surface now. MJ, Pippen didn't like the way he was portrayed in the documentary The Last Dance. He was portrayed as a selfish, egotistical player. He didn't appreciate that. So he took shots at MJ. Now Phil Jackson, his former coach, he won 6 championships with. He's a racist. I mean, what's next? I mean, is Phil Jackson gonna write, a book about about the Bulls and saying that MJ was a egotistical maniac who was mean spirited? Pippen was a crybaby, was a spoiled, rotten crybaby. I mean, what's next? I mean, who knows? I don't know. It's just funny all this is coming out now, decades after the fact. And just last week, Pippen criticized KD for not being a team player. Tried to compare him to LeBron. Was like, LeBron would have beat the Milwaukee Bucks. He would have, found a way to beat Milwaukee. And KD is not a team player. He's just a one-on-one player. And while there's some truth to that, why say that now, Pip? I mean, come on. And KD clapped back and was like, Scott Pippen, really? Really? Didn't you not come into the game? Didn't you refuse to come into the game when your coach refused to draw up a play for you? And Phil Jackson was the leader on that team and not you. So KD clapped back at him. And that was just last week. So, I mean, is there some validity to what Pippen is saying? Maybe. But at the same time, you work for two white men who were probably could be considered more of racist than Phil Jackson. And like I said, the two Jerrys, Reinsdorf and Krause. And we know how ruthless Jerry Krause was. He didn't want to sign MJ to long-term deals. It was like 1 year, 2 year deals here. The players on the team hated him. MJ used to make fun of him and Phil Jackson. And then not only that, Phil Jackson drew up plays for MJ. And he drew up plays for Scottie Pippen and Shaq. So I don't see how he'd be racist just because he didn't draw up a play for you when he drew up plays for MJ, when he was there, for Kobe, for Shaq. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're basing off. You basing off of one incident. I mean, the Kobe incident. We could say that Phil is reckless with that book, and he didn't use his better judgment. We could say that, but to say that the man's racist, I don't know. No, like I said, I don't know Phil Jackson. Maybe he is racist, maybe he's not. But I don't think these two incidents would determine him as being a racist. At least not in my opinion. But be it as it may, Pippen has a book coming out in November, so he's trying to plug it. He's going at MJ. He's going at Phil Jackson now. You know how he feels about Isaiah. If Isaiah was on the team, I wasn't gonna play. It's like, Negro, you can't even utter your mouth to say anything about the great Isaiah Thomas. You can't utter. And Isaiah even said this 9 years ago. He said, if Larry Bird didn't want me on the team, okay, I'm fine with that. If Magic Johnson didn't want me on the team, okay, I'm fine with that. If Michael Jordan didn't want me on the team, okay, I'm fine with that as well. But outside of those three players, Bird, Magic, Jordan, anyone outside of them has nothing to say, not a damn thing to say. If you're not Bird, Magic, or Michael, you don't have a thing to say outside those three players, including you, Scottie Pippen. So go play in the park and shut your mouth. And as far as I'm concerned, Scottie Pippen, I'm going to say this. How in the hell is he considered a top 50 player of all time? How? Because he played with MJ? He was MJ's Robin? He's an overglorified role player. I don't see how Scottie Pippen's in the top 50 of NBA players. I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing something. He averaged 16 and a half points. Yes, he was a great defender. I will not take that away from him. He had athleticism. I will give him that. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, Scottie Pippen is Ben Simmons with a much better jump shot. He's Ben Simmons with the greater jump shot. That's all Scottie Pippen is, as far as I'm concerned. If Ben Simmons could shoot, then he would be another Scottie Pippen. Ben Simmons is bigger. He's 6'10". Scottie Pippen was 6'7". But, I mean, Ben Simmons is a great defender. He's athletic as hell. He can make plays on fast breaks. But if he had a jump shot, he would be like another Scottie Pippen to me. So, but you cannot have, to me, it's just disrespectful to Dominique Wilkins, how he's not considered a top 50 player, but Scottie Pippen is. And Nick averaged 24 and a half points a game. Yes, he didn't play a lick of defense. We know this. But it's a lot of Hall of Famers that are in the top 50 that didn't play defense. So let's be fair. Nick should be in the top 50. Pippen should not. Now, if you want to put him maybe top 75, top 100, then okay. You can make a case for him. But top 50, no, stop it. No, 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 no. But that's my feelings on Pippen. You know, I never liked Scottie Pippen. He was a great player, great defender. I can't deny that. Great defender. Made plays, could play point forward, point guard, could play two different positions. But look at his career after he left the Bulls. Houston, Portland. Then he had a second stint with the Bulls, but by that time he was on his last leg and about to retire. So I don't really count that. But Houston and Portland, he wasn't the same player. Say what you want, but he wasn't. I think the man's overrated, but that's just me. Well, what say you? Let me know what you think about this. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I gave you my opinion, but give me yours. Let me know what you think. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Take care, and God bless. I'm out.